Cool.
Let's
There
go.
we go.
Hey, I guess I have to do better than that if I ever get introduced again. I gotta top what you just talked about. So yeah, I wanted to thank you for that, and thank you for just even having me here. I appreciate you bringing me into rooms like this. And as you guys are introducing yourselves, congrats to you guys for making the decision to be here. I know we had someone in design, we have some investors, some builders. Like this is a room that if you guys take advantage of the opportunity the right way, you guys can really like make it to the levels of real estate investing that you want to get to. So I'm happy to be here. And a little bit about me. I prepared a presentation deck. Is it all right if I pull that up? All right. So I am going to try to teach in a way that makes 20 years of real estate easy and digestible for everything that I've learned. So I'm going to pull up my presentation deck. I want you guys to take notes of some of these websites. And I'd like to say, um, take action, right? I want you guys to, I prepared this for you guys to be able to go to these websites, take action, and look them up tonight. Do some homework, do some research, look them up tonight, do some shopping, because a lot of times I introduce people to these sites that they never knew about. So I'm going to introduce you to some of these, and then at the end, I want to share with you an opportunity to come with me to an auction. It's November 22nd. It's a free auction. You just have to register with the actual county. If anyone's interested in getting some of the land, I'll give you the information, and you guys have access to just come join me and my group. I usually try to limit to 200 people because that's what's manageable. Shout out to the Block Association. I know someone is here from the Block, Black Ladies of Construction. So you guys are going to be are already invited through your organization, but I want to extend it to everybody else. Somebody said they need that information. All right, I'm here to bring it. I'm here to deliver it to you all. Let me just pull up this presentation deck that I prepared for you, and we can get started.
I'm sorry. What was the date? November 20.
November 22nd.
Thank you. Sorry.
November 22nd. I got a conference room for us all to meet. It's the auction starts at 10, so we're going to meet at 7 a.m. just so I could kind of like prepare you guys live day of. Of course, we'll do more training before. We'll have more Zooms, but I just want to open it up to this group for you guys to be able to join me. All right. Y'all ready to go? All right, cool. So I wanted to prepare investment properties for the low, right? I like to call it that because, like, as the supply chain is being backed up, we are not going to be able to practice real estate in the next quarter or two unless the hold is over. Real estate's going to change, right? Building is going to like the landscape of it is going to change. But what's not going to change is the ability to create opportunities for ourselves. That's not going to change. And then the ability to buy properties for extremely low prices is something that I think will always give us a competitive advantage against everybody else that's practicing real estate. All right. So I'm Charles Noonan. I'm the founder of the Landbank team. As a New York City developer, I own over 400 properties debt-free. As a leader in 2024, I helped over 1,000 families buy land or land bank properties. Then we just set a new goal. In 2025, I want to help 1,500 people, 1,500 families, 1,500. I want to help 1,500 people put their last name or their trust name on a deed. So I'm on a crazy mission, and what I decided to do to kind of help me reach my goals was to open it up and just give information freely and not only information but the education freely so that you guys could join as well. All right. So, in addition to my portfolio and things like that, today is about showing you guys exactly how. So, you guys hear the word land bank a lot, and a lot of conversations about the land bank. I'll explain to you the definition, and then I'll explain why they're so cheap. Because I know it does sound kind of crazy, right? Properties for $300, a house for starting at $1,000 sounds kind of crazy. I know. So I'm going to show you guys exactly where these sites are. I'm going to give them to you so that you guys can go and get them for yourselves. All right. So land banks are public entities that are solely focused on converting problem properties into properties of productive use. Problem properties across the country are looked at as vacant, abandoned, and dilapidated. So either one of those three words, where that and those properties cause an issue in two ways. One, when there are a lot of vacant properties, property values go down, and we're finding that crime rate goes up. So we want to kind of like extinguish as best as we can in a safe manner those issues. So now in neighborhoods, property values can go up and we can suppress the crime rate in a lot of these areas. There are 250 land banks across the United States. When you buy properties from land banks, they all come with clear title and are debt free. There are no liens and no delinquencies with land bank properties. I'm going to say that again. They are very different from tax deeds and tax liens. You don't have to necessarily, you're going to close through a title company, so you don't have to do title search. The land bank has the unique powers to be able to clear title. So what was happening in the past, um, properties that had liens on them would go through the tax sale, the tax lien auction, tax deed auction, and people wouldn't buy them because the values wouldn't substantiate the cost of the house to pay the back taxes, back water bills, pay off the liens, and then make a further investment. It wasn't worth it. So what the cities were finding is that properties that didn't get sold at the auctions just sat. So land banks now come in a lot of cities and a lot of the counties, those properties go to the land bank. They gave the land banks the power to eliminate that, to eliminate all the liens, all encumbrances on the property. You get them debt free and you can close through title. You typically close through title companies. Okay. The benefit to the city is that they get the property back on the tax roll. But you guys, as owners or investors or new owners of those properties, in some situations, they ask you to renovate the houses, if you buy them. And if you have land, sometimes they want to know what your plans are, whether it's a community garden, whether it's a build. But some, you don't have to do anything with buying land. You can just buy it outright. Now that you guys know how I get my properties, that you kind of understand how 400, it is a lot, but if I've been accumulating property over such a long period of time, and where I show you where I get them from, you'll be impressed, but not as impressed as it really sounds, because I know where to buy them for $300 and $800 and things like that. All right. So before we get into these websites, before I give you the information, I want to give you guys the education, right? I don't want anyone just having the information because you can just go make the wrong purchases. So what I did was I put together an acronym, and hopefully everybody, right? Because I know that the group that we're working with, hopefully everybody here will not forget the word Africa, right? Like that's hard for this type of group to forget. So, and the reason I put this together, right? I put this together for us to be able to make quick references, because sometimes we'll go to an auction, we miss our property, or someone else outbids us for the property that we came from, that we came for, and then we end up making hasty decisions. So what I want to do with you guys, I want to teach you exactly how to buy properties in like making quick decisions, making safe decisions, but kind of like on the fly. All right. So here's the first thing in Africa. The first thing in Africa. So before we even get started, some of you guys are going to get property values in square footage. Some are going to get acreage. If it's a half an acre, a quarter acre, you guys kind of can understand the size. 1 acre is about the size of a football field. Um, so 1 acre equals 43,560 square feet. Please put that in the chat. Just write it down. The more you write it, the more you will remember it. All right. So the acronym Africa, I'll explain it to you guys before I start to show you where you can start buying land for $100 or $200, $300, $400, $500, $600. All right. The A in Africa stands for area. If you're looking to just sell land, you want to know this information. But if you're looking to build on it, it's extremely important that you understand the area, meaning the size that the city you are purchasing the property in. You want to understand the minimum size that you can build on. So in Birmingham, it's about 0.15 of an acre in Birmingham, Alabama. So when I buy land in Birmingham, Alabama, the first thing I'm looking for immediately is it over 1.5 of an acre. Okay. The second thing we want to verify is the fundamentals of a sewer system. So water is city water is common in most areas, but city sewer is not. So if you're looking to sell, it probably helps that you have a property that's connected to city water and sewer. If you're looking to build, it's different. It's different. And I'll give you guys a little bit of an education, a little bit of a scenario behind that. I want to know so that I can understand build costs, but it doesn't necessarily make or break my decision, because if you have city water and you don't have city sewer, you will have to install a septic tank. Septic tanks typically are around $15,000. However, when it comes down to your bill, you will not have a sewer bill because you have your own sewer system. So cities not having city sewer is not always that bad. I want you guys to understand that. But you need to know, because if you're selling it, you want to at least be able to sell with city sewer, water and sewer, unless you're selling to a builder that understands and is okay with it. But again, this is more about the educational piece right now. So, and I'll show you in the next slide how you verify if there is sewer, at least from a preliminary 5,000-foot view. I'll show you guys how you can verify city sewer. Water is pretty common and easy, but I want to show you guys the sewer portion as well. The next thing is road frontage. You want to verify road frontage, and most of the maps or most of the diagrams in which you'll see the property, they'll show you the road. Road frontage is important because you want to have access to your property. You don't want a property that's surrounded by other properties without you having access to the road. We call that a property that's landlocked. You guys won't have access to your property because you would have to go on someone else's property to get yours. So I'll show you a diagram, but you want to make sure you're verifying road frontage. The I in Africa is for infill lots. So infill lots, you want to make sure that you are buying lots in areas that are developed. You don't necessarily, based on your goals, you don't necessarily want to buy property that is really far out and nothing is around it, because you won't have sewer. You may not have water. You may have to have a well system. It's going to be a little difficult for power. It's going to be difficult for supplies. And then it's going to could potentially be difficult to sell as well. All right. Before you also purchase, you want to do some research in your market. The C in Africa is for comps. You want to check the comps. If you're looking to build and you build at $150 per square foot, and you want to build a 2,000 square foot house, you know the cost of your build is going to be $300,000. If that's your model, you now want to make sure that the houses in that area that are new construction, you only want to compare apples to apples. Make sure you run your comps, you look your numbers up to make sure that you're in a place where you could at least make $100,000, $75,000. So you want to make sure the new construction sells for at least 350, 375, whatever you want your profit to be. And guys, here's the sweet thing about this. You can take this model anywhere as long as you do the homework, right? The cost, if you have plans for a house that costs 300,000, you can now start sourcing land in places that you know the new construction sells for 400,000, 500,000. And with this model, you can just build your $300,000 house and sell it based on what the comps are. The last part to Africa is access to power lines. It's the A. So in the diagram I'm going to show you next, I'll show you how important that is, and I'll show you why that's important. It's important because if you don't have power lines, it could be very costly. It could be extremely expensive to have the power company set up poles and run those wires all the way to your street, to your house, and then they actually have to run the wire to your house. So that could be costly. And if you just follow the rules in the acronym Africa, you'll pretty much be in good shape as far as, I'm going to say, usability for the land that you purchase. So here's the diagram. Here's a property that I own, and I'll show you guys this in real time. I own this property, 4200 Fieldstone Drive in Birmingham, Alabama. This is the property on the side right here. Can you guys all see this?
Yeah.
This is the property. Awesome. This is the property that I own. It's probably a quarter acre back here. But in this area, you only need 6,000 square feet to build. So this house right here is on less than a quarter acre, right? So I'm verifying. We'll start at the A, the area. I already verified the area before I bought it. It's a quarter acre and you need 0.15. So I have 0.25 of an acre right here across the street from this property. The F is for the fundamentals of a sewer system. So this is your storm drain here, but this manhole, hopefully you guys can see this manhole, pothole, whatever you call it in the area that you guys live in. This is place. Now to back that up, you want to call the water and sewer department and you want to say, hey, I'm just if there was a house there, you can ask, was there ever a sewer account, right, for sewage? They'll say yes or no. You can then ask across the street and say, is this a sewer bill here or a sewer account for this address? If they say yes, then you know you verified this is the sewer line. So you know you now have city water and city sewer. You can also verify the water, but pretty much in areas like this, it's safe to say that the entire city has water already. Now, R is for your road frontage, and you guys can see right here, and in multiple maps, the road will be sometimes different colors, but what's always pretty consistent is like the road markings, and you'll be able to see them through things like this. Okay, so that's your road frontage. I is for infill lots. We want to make sure it's in a developed area just like this, and we're able to see that there are other houses. So now you safely know, all right, we got water, we got sewer, we got power lines. I'll show you maybe a transmitter. It's pretty far down on this road, but right here, this is where it actually splits and can add to your property. So we know we have infill lots. The comps, you want to run the comps. If I had that model for $300,000 at 150 square foot, $150 per square foot, I know these houses sold for $399, $389. Some are going for $4 on this block. So in my opinion, if I wanted to at least make $100,000 on a build, maybe even 80, 70, whatever the case may be, when these were new, I already verified what they sold for. So now I feel safe with my business model here. All right. So that's running the comps. And then A is access to power lines, and you'll see them here. This is a screenshot, but if I was able to reverse it, I'd be able to show you the pole here and verify that there's something called a transmitter box, but you guys will probably get into that when you start seeing them. But that'll let you know they can run the wire directly from that box to your house. All right. Now that y'all got the education, right? Now that you guys have the education, here is the information that I'm going to share with you guys. Of the properties that I have, 34 of the doors are in Detroit. Quite a few are in Muncie. A lot are in Birmingham, Alabama, and Kansas City as well. But Birmingham and Detroit is where we have the most houses. Birmingham is where we have the most land. I do own 40 parcels of land in the county of the auction that I'm going to take you guys to on the 22nd. All right, so please write these down, screenshot, take a picture. These are land banks that you guys can shop and find properties and land at very inexpensive prices. First thing I'm going to tell you guys, when you're looking at this stuff, go to these websites and spend at least at minimum 1 to 2 hours reading every single thing that they have on the site. They all should have an FAQ section that will give you the facts and teach you like best practices, and it'll give you exactly how they operate their particular land bank. They all function very similarly, but for the most part, they function in different manners as well. Some have different rules to how they are going to give you the interest. They're going to release the interest of the property for you. Some you can just buy and you don't have to do anything. Some they want you to buy with the promise to fix, renovate, build, at least do a community garden and things like that. All right, so here we go, buildingdetroit.org. Guys, this is my favorite land bank. This is the first one that I bought property from. This is a screenshot from their site today, right? And I'll show you land on it right after, but they're buildingdetroit.org. Please spend some time on this site. This is their neighborhood lot program. Neighborhood lots are a new vacant land sales program offered by the Detroit Land Bank Authority. Only residents within 500 feet of neighborhood lots are eligible to purchase. Neighborhood lots will be sold for $250 and require a neighborhood lot endorsement. For more information, click there. After a certain amount of time where the lots are not purchased, the Detroit Land Bank does offer those lots to be purchased by individuals of the public. Okay. Here's a picture of the site today where you guys can see the available lots that are for sale. There's some are $250, and then they have a separate program called their side lot program. The side lot program allows you to buy the lot next to the property that you own, be it on either side, diagonal, adjacent, or behind or across the street. After a certain period of time, they do open it up to individuals of the public. They have the accessory structure lot program. Then they have what they call an improved lot program. And as you guys can see, right, these start at $100 and some are $250. Then they have the housing program. So Detroit Land Bank has a housing program where you guys can buy these houses that you're looking at. The first two are an auction starts at $1,000, and those are going on sale tomorrow. There's another two that go on sale on the 5th, and then there's another, I think, 3 on October 6th that you guys can buy. I always encourage you to do your due diligence. I don't have enough time to get into due diligence on housing, but a lot of you guys do have real estate experience already. So I just wanted to share with you exactly where, when you keep hearing these $100 house, $1,000 houses, $300 lots, and things like that, I wanted to show you exactly the sites and the companies that I use to go buy them. So when you see my team members super happy at auctions and all these testimonials and stuff like that, I just kind of educate, and then I inform of people where to go buy them. So these are some of the sites, and these are actually live. Do not go now. Wait until at least we get off the call. All right. Wait until the Zoom is over for you guys to hop on some of these sites. Another land bank that I absolutely love, Muncie, Indiana. I was on the news. I got called into the news because of the work that I did for Muncie, Indiana. So I ended up being on the news. I think it was All Access Indiana, for the work that I've done here in Muncie, Indiana. Muncie Land Bank, Muncie Land Bank, is where I get the properties from, on the Muncie Land Bank site. Here's a picture of what the properties look like. And as you can see here, the minimum bid is $300. Press the place bid button to place a bid on this particular property. Most of these are cleared infill lots already. If you could see the small picture, you can see that there's power lines, they're cleared, there are houses on both sides of it. And I really like this land bank too, because it's like easy to get these properties. You simply submit plans, which we have tons of plans of what you want to do with it. You submit your plans, you submit the information, there you go, they'll give you the property. They're not hard to qualify for. And then I just wanted to throw in, for those of you that sell, because I knew a lot of you sell, I know a lot of you are realtors, the number one place where I sell my land. So if I buy it and I want to sell it, right, I could only develop at least 2 properties at a time, but I have way too many. So sometimes I do sell. The number one site where I sell my land is land.com. A lot of you are realtors, or if any of you are realtors and you have your own site, so you know how to sell your own property, totally fine. Land.com will have your phone ringing, right? Land.com you'll get your property sold through land.com. Just to further educate you guys, just because I love doing it, I buy land for $300, $400, $500, $600, $800, right? And I will sell it through seller financing for at least 10x my money. So if I bought something for $400, I'm going to sell it for $4,000, and I'm just going to take a down payment of $400, and then the people are going to pay me for the next 10 months passive income, $400 a month. So as you can see here, this is an actual screenshot of land.com, and these are 2 of my listings. When you sell your properties, and I know some of you guys are realtors, so I know you probably know this, but here's a way to get to the top of land.com. I'm beating out the sponsored people that paid for banner ads on land.com because I list my seller finance price, which allows me to list it at $162. That's the price monthly for these properties. I probably paid $100 and I'm selling them for $2,000. So I'll break the payments up, and just to create passive income cash flow. And oftentimes, guys, I never see, unless I'm building, I've never seen 95% of my portfolio. I've never gone to it. I've never seen it. I purchase it. I put it in a binder. Some of it I sell. Some of it I develop. But I only see what I develop and what I renovate. I just don't go see it. As I sell, if I want to increase cash flow, I'll put some of my stuff on land.com for sale and sell it. But I don't go see it. So don't be afraid to find a land bank that you see best, where you feel like it's not risky, you feel like Africa works for you, you feel like the whole concept flows for you. Don't be afraid to buy it, because in the land trading business or the selling business, there's nothing to really see. It's cleared, it has grass, whatever the case. What's more important is like your write-up. You can do a lot of due diligence. And I'll give you a tool for due diligence. You can use a tool called Land Glide. Google Earth, Street Maps, and Street View will also show you a lot. Make sure you want to get the most recent, and then you can call a local realtor to take pictures of the property for you. Again, I typically look to 10x my money on properties. So if I have to pay somebody to go take pictures, it's really not. If I paid $100 for someone to take pictures, it really just doesn't hurt or impact my profit at all. All right, so yeah, here's another listing, kind of like up front. This one is in Arkansas, which I've probably been to Arkansas twice. All right, so For those of you, hopefully you enjoyed the education I gave you. It's hard to pack 20 years into such a short period of time. But if anyone is interested in coming to the auction with me and my group, including the Block Association, the Black Ladies of Construction, on November 22nd in Wayne County, PA. They have 600 properties. We will have what I call a stand down sheet. The stand down sheet is a sheet to make sure that we don't bump into each other, that we don't bid against each other. We typically limit to 200 people. Whatever property you like, we earmark that property for you, so no one else in the group bids against you. I like to call it group economics. I like to call it hacking the auction, so we win and not the auction, and we just get the properties for what's owed on them. And these properties at this auction are usually $1,000 and less, and they have everything up to like an acre and down. All right, let's get to Q&A. Back to you, Queen.
Hey, listen, listening to everything, there was a lot of things that I've learned thus far, as far as, new construction, we got to turn the utilities on, right? That's one thing, but to have to put up light poles, that I never even considered, right? Would be a thing. So listening to you speak about, just a little bit about doing your due diligence and understanding what it may cost to invest in land and things you want to consider, like factor in when you're buying land, even at such a small amount. I think it's definitely something worth considering. And for those who are listening and they're like, oh, Alabama, Detroit, oh, that's so far because it's not in your backyard. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable because there are a lot of opportunities elsewhere. You don't necessarily have to live there or go see these properties like Charles Noonan mentioned. He's only seen 95. He hasn't seen 95% of his portfolio, right? That's what you said, 95 or 90% of it. So, have the courage to make an investment as little as the numbers we've seen in the $100 to $300 price range, because believe it or not, you're probably spending that a week on coffee, right? So why not take a shot at it where you can potentially purchase a property for $300 and make $1,000 off of it, and then, it's only up from there. So I think you really need to take heed to this information. A lot of times we hear information and it's just something to know. We walk around and brag about, yeah, I know that, I heard about it, but what are we doing with this knowledge? Knowledge isn't power until it's applied. So if you want to see a change in your life, you want to really exercise the power that you have, apply the information and then show your children and others that are around you that look to you. They probably won't tell you this, but they look to you for that motivation, for that hope that they can too. So please take this information and apply it. So I know someone has a question because I know someone wants clarity on this auction and how they can get into it, and they want to be there for this auction in Philly. You said Pennsylvania. That's where we're gonna be.
Wayne County, Pennsylvania.
This is where we're gonna be. This is where we will be. All of us on here, we will be there. And if not, we will be tapping into these sites and we're going to execute. Okay, this is the last quarter. Q4 is the quarter. This is the finish line, and we have to go beyond our limits. We got to push. All right. So, are there any questions? Does anyone here need clarity, even if it's in the chat room and you don't want your voice to be heard? Please do so now. Let's pull as much information as we can from Charles because we are going to act on this information. Amani, you have a question?
You know I do. Stop playing.
Go ahead, love.
Okay. So for one, thank you for this. I really do appreciate it. I was just wanted to know for the auction, typically for the Landbank, how much do you need to come to the table with?
For which one? Because
the one that we all are going to on the 22nd.
So I'm going to do a couple trainings on that. They typically start like 1,000. They're under 1,000. So there's like $400, $500, $600. And if we do it right and we don't compete against each other, there's probably like 4 or 5 investors that go to this auction and they just buy properties and then they sell them to their builders. That's all they do. They never tell their builders where they're getting the properties from. They buy them and they just sell them right to their builders. So if we don't bid against each other, less than $1,000. and it's very uncommon that we do. And there's a reason that we meet earlier. So I'm going to walk through. I'm going to do like a mock auction. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
help prepare you guys. We probably going to have like 3 or 4 Zoom calls. Once you guys text that number, you're going to get access to the auction sheet. You're going to get access to how you register. And
Okay.
then access to the, we meet in Scranton, PA, which is like 25 minutes away from where the auction actually is. So we typically meet in a hotel conference room. We'll get together. We go through best practices. We'll go through, and I'll do it a number of times because there are going to be nerves at people's first auctions. So I do everything I can within my power to kind of just make sure you guys are comfortable, make sure you don't miss your property, make sure we don't have mistakes in bidding. So once you guys text that number, you'll all get within probably a day or so the sheet to fill out. I recommend you download Landglide so you can really look and see graphs and everything. Landglide's a free site for 7 days, which is enough for you to do your due diligence. Then you just got to
Okay.
make it in Pennsylvania.
No. That's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. I just want to make sure I just understand because I know, like you said, the land auctions are typically different from the traditional auctions where, you have to put the 20% down at the
Oh,
day of the
yeah.
auction, the
You,
cashier's check. That's what I'm trying to understand before I come, like
no,
to be
you
prepared
bring cash. You're going to pay for it in cash day of.
day of.
Um,
Okay.
Probably like a $70 transfer fee because they actually have to record the deed in your name now and mail it out to you. And then there's like a 2% tax on it. So if it's $1,000, 2% of $1,000 is $20. So it's minimum. But I'm gonna just say this: if you're looking to get a property, let's just say when you see the list, you find a property that's let's just say $600 safely, just bring $900 with you.
Okay. That's what I need to know. Thank you. That helps.
Yeah,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
you're welcome. Who's going? If you guys are going, just come off of mute and say
Oh,
I'm there.
everyone's going. Someone asked,
Everybody going?
can it be over the phone and a contribution of money because of their work schedule? Is it possible to do this over the phone?
No.
So Anna, we have to send a representative for you. I can see if I can go on your behalf. Amaris, you unmuted yourself. You have a question, love?
Yes, I do. Of course, I'm coming. I've been looking for this for the longest. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, like I'm so excited. So thank you for putting this together and having the gentleman sharing the information. So my question is, and the previous girl asked what I wanted to know, but in addition to the cash payment, because I usually don't like carrying cash, it's like wire transfer, an option or just cash.
You can bring a money order, but you just have to run out to the post office, which is fairly close, grab the money order, and come back.
No, I just bring cash then if that's the problem. Because you don't know how much you want to buy or what's your interest or anything like that. Like what about if you're only planning to get 2 and you end up buying 5 or 6? So.
No. So we're gonna limit to probably like 2. Remember I said I want to educate and then give you the information. I don't want you guys buying a lot at first. I want you to buy 1 or 2 properties, cash flow them, and it gets addictive. The feeling of buying a piece of land for $600 is like a rush. It's phenomenal. It's like you actually own a piece of something that never has to leave your family's last name, right? But as far as me as a leader, I want to make sure you guys aren't getting in over your heads. Okay. Because if you bought 10, you now have to develop 10. I own a big part of a small county. They sent me, I think it was like 162 tax bills that I have to pay. And to build there, like it's a county that I really like, but I'm like, if I just let everybody do that, some of you may not have money for taxes. Some of you may not have money to maintain 20 pieces of land all over the place in the summertime where the grass grows like crazy, right? I want you to just go slow, get 1 or 2. I love the ambition. You like, I'm getting 5, right? I know. So we're limiting, like, just get one or two. Get used to it. Get your feet wet. Understand how to sell it, right?
Yeah.
Sell it. Find a builder. You can list it. Sell it. It's the sweetest thing. But we try to limit, because what I want to do, Queen, I want to make sure that every person that comes leaves with a property in their name.
That would be amazing.
So I do have
That's
a question to that you just mentioned. So that means that, is there a limitation on time of when you're supposed to either build in that land that you purchase,
no.
or resell it, or you could just hold it?
Yep, you can hold it and do whatever you want with it. It's totally
that's awesome.
Someone asked, how do we sign up, and can you pay for the purchase with a credit card?
No, it's an auction. It's a county auction, so they want cash, money order, and I think you can do one other quirky thing, like a. I'll give you guys all the information before. I'm gonna overly prepare everybody here for the auction, so you'll get the actual auction website. Let me see if I can give it to y'all right now.
Also,
so
while you're searching, what about, for example, Anna with the work schedule? Could she have someone act on her behalf as a representative, like maybe a POA? She signed like a notary, like a letter, and she notarized it saying someone is acting on her behalf?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. I just posted the website for you guys. If you want to register, please read everything on the site. I do not recommend calling, because we have berated their office with phone calls forever. Like last year and a half, I've taken 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 people. They're tired of Charles Noonan and his people's office. They are. I want to educate you guys, right? Further, make sure you're buying a property that's buildable if you want to build. Selling is different, but make sure you at least conform to the rules of Africa, and that you're buying a property that you could either build on, or that you can sell, or that whatever comes to your mind, you can execute on that strategy. So there's a lot of homework and research, but I just posted the site, and we're going to meet at the Lackawanna Radisson Hotel. But those of you that send a text to the number, we'll give you all of that. And we need that text, because we want to organize to make sure that we have everybody on the same page together as a team, so that we're not bidding against each other. That's the worst thing. That cringes my stomach when I see us bidding against us. We cannot do that. That is not the culture of Charles Noonan anything. The culture.
Now, what about age limit? Are there any restrictions? Can you be, we got 70-year-olds that are on site with their family doing construction in GC. Can they too? Can they bid as well, or you have to be 18 or older?
18 or older to bid.
Okay.
We call those on the Landbank team. We call those guys the young deeds. Those are, right? The young deeds, they come out, they get their properties too.
Okay.
So I encourage the younger people, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I'm telling you guys right now, my events are fun filled. We're going to laugh. We're going to joke. We're going to learn. We're going to train. We're going to go execute. We are not going to bid against each other. We're going to go win. It's going to be a day where the number of people show up, and I'm limiting the number of people that show up. I want to make sure we all get something. We got exercises to get out the nervous energy. We might bust out a Soul Train line so everybody's comfortable, right? It's not one of those tight events. I like the group that you have right here, Queen, because they're serious minded, they're like minded, they're networking. So yeah, join in. We're gonna have some fun.
I have a question for you. Can you buy it underneath? So like, for example, I have a current LLC in good financial standing. Can you buy it at the auction underneath your LLC name opposed to your name?
Yeah, when you register, you're going to have to register in your corporation name, and you're going to have to send your corporate documents or copies of your corporate documents.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Of course.
There's another question. What's your process for confirming property condition specific to environmentals?
Africa.
We pulling it back out.
Africa, I want to make sure I'm verifying everything on there. I want to make sure that I'm verifying that it's buildable, right? Because if I want to build, I need to find out from what county, hey, from the planning and zoning department, that's who you guys should be calling first, not the county, but from the planning and zoning department. Hey, what's the minimum size area of land you guys will allow me to put a house on? They're going to say, whatever, 7,000 square feet, 8,000, 5,000. So now with that information, I'm going to now take that to this auction spreadsheet. I'm going to look and start at a minimum of 7,000 to make sure that stuff is buildable. Then we want to make sure sewer system, or at least we want the education of the sewer system. So I would even call the water and sewer company. Hey, I'm looking to verify that this property has city water and sewer. All right. So yeah, that's my process. You also want to make sure that based on where it is, some of these pieces of land are in like really nice areas. They're in private gated communities with security guards, and they just have land behind it. You may have to pay a HOA fee, right, for maintenance and things like that. You won't get tickets, but you'll have an HOA fee. You want to kind of verify that as well. Some are in an HOA, some are not. They're spread out throughout the entire county. So you kind of want to verify all of that. You also want to verify tax. Tax information should be on the list of the link that I gave you all. Tax information should be there. So those are some of the things that I look for.
Someone is asking, someone made a statement, I am from Africa. Am I missing something? I missed something from the beginning. So it was just a breakdown, the acronyms used to pretty much break down his formula or his strategy, like it being strategic as to how he does his due diligence for these properties that he purchases. So I don't know if you want to quickly run it down what each letter represents for the lady or the individual, I should say. I don't even know if it's a lady or woman that entered the room after.
Yeah, I can do it quickly, but do you issue, because I'd like for her to also see the replay and the visual.
Yes, I'm gonna definitely send it, but if you want to quickly just say what each letter.
Sure.
You don't got to spend too much time on it. I'll send it out.
A is for air. So the word Africa is an acronym for me and for us. I've just created it for us to kind of understand due diligence, to have a quick due diligence reference when we're buying land to make sure we're buying the right way. And I came up with this because I've made all of these mistakes and had to pay the cost for them. So I don't want you guys making these mistakes. Right? This is what I look for. And when my students are at auctions, they send me stuff. I said, did you run it through Africa first? They say, yes. I say, all right, I don't need to look, buy it. Right? It's guidelines for you. So A is for area. You want to make sure you have justified the size of the property in the county that you're buying it in, that it's buildable if you want to build on it. So you verify the area. The F is for the fundamentals of a sewer system. You want to verify that your property has access to city water and sewer. I say fundamentals of a sewer system because water is pretty common, but some areas you just have to be mindful, because if you don't buy property that has access to city sewer, you can end up in a situation where you have to buy or install a septic tank. Not that septic tanks are a problem, but they're time consuming. So as builders, I want to get my house up, right, as soon as possible. And then a septic tank will be a month or two lag behind because there's a lot of work that has to be done. The R is for road frontage. You want to make sure you have access to it, to your property, and you'll see clear outlines of the road. So you want to verify road frontage. That's the R. I is for infill lots. We want to make sure they are around houses, other houses, because if they are, most of the municipalities that you need are there. C is for comps. If you're building or selling or whatever it is you're doing, if you're just buying land to sell it, you want to go to Zillow and look up what the lowest cost of a quarter acre is in that area. You want to look up what was recently sold in that area for a quarter acre. If they're $8,000, cool. You know now you're going to go to this auction, and whatever you buy under $8,000, you should typically be able to sell it for. So you want to verify the comps. If you're building, look up what new construction it has recently sold for. Don't be afraid. You got a lot of you guys have real estate experience to go back a little bit to make sure that you're comparing apples to apples. You don't want to compare a house that's 20 years old that sold to a brand new house that you plan to build.
Right.
So verify the comps. And then the last one is access. You want to make sure that you're buying property that has access to the power lines. Because if you don't have access to the power lines, it could be costly for you to get the electric company, whether it's PSE&G, Detroit Energy, Alabama Power. They'll have to install a power pole at your expense, and then they'll have to run the wires all the way to where your property is. So we try to verify those things so that we have a smooth smooth path to our exit strategy, whether it's building or selling. It just makes it more marketable when we say, yep, it's got city water, city sewer, it's buildable. You can have up to a 3-family house there. Houses typically go for $399,000. I'm selling it to you. It's valued at $8,000. I'm selling it to you right now. If you send a wire, $7,000, $6,000. We only paid $600 for it, right? You name your price, what you want to sell it for. I like cash flow. I like the long game. I like fast sales. My concept in real estate is buy low and sell low, because I know I can go get 100 properties, right? So I don't have to try and make $1 million off of one. I just told you guys, land.com is where you sell them all day long. So
and for those, there was someone asking also about your mentorship program. And I don't know if you guys are paying attention to the language he's using, but he keeps saying, I tell my students. So I think the question isn't so much of mentorship, but do you have any room left in the classroom for others to join?
I do. We have a VP of enrollment. Okay. I will give you her phone number. You guys have to call her. At this point, we typically graduate students, meaning get property, sell it, get in, learn, buy property. You get a success coach as well to kind of handhold or walk you through to your journey. And then we allow other students to join. So her number, I'll put it in the chat. It's 917-795-5413. There's a lot that comes with the community. We have baked in like those that may need help with credit, funding. And then I have a special friendship with a woman that's named the Passport Abuser. She teaches you guys, because we're in real estate, because we're building, she teaches us how to get to our properties for free. So there's websites where you can do opinions for miles. There's websites where you can buy your materials, Queen. So those of you that are developing or renovating, you can buy your materials at a Home Depot, get 5 points per dollar, 5 miles per dollar, get the points on your credit card, and it makes it so much easier for your builder, because now they don't have to go there and stand in line and buy materials. You order them, you set them out for the next morning for pickup, and they love it. That's how I'm building my house in Birmingham right now. I'm paying for everything. My miles are ridiculous. I'm flying across the country.
And I was going to ask you, you're building in Birmingham, but where do you reside?
New York.
You hear that? Please, I need y'all to take that all in. He lives in New York and he's building in Birmingham. Now, if you ask him to build a property in New York, first of all, where we going to find it? You probably got to drive upstate to get land. But if you do, you're probably not going to get it at the price that you're getting it in Birmingham. So what was the cost for Birmingham for those that came in late?
160. So I bought 3 lots of land for 100. I bought them for it was $2,900. The piece of property had 3 lots on it. They sell, new builds sell for $259, and I just finished the first one on those 3 lots for $169,000. So you guys in the community, you'll be able to learn how to buy and sell land bank houses, how to build also. So there's a lot in there.
Okay. And this is not a part of the 95%. I'm sure you have seen this property.
I went twice. I'm going on October 10th to see it for a third time, and it's completed in 60 days.
Wow. Congratulations.
If anybody's in the South and wants to come see this ground up, this new build, I invite you guys to come see it. And the reason I'm so open with this stuff is because when I was growing up, Queen, you know what they would do in New York when the developers came in to build? They would put these big pieces of plywood up, 7-foot pieces of plywood, and around the property, right? They open it, come in with the machines, build the house. They don't show us. They never taught us anything. None of this stuff. We just knew construction was going on. They put the huge plywood up. We couldn't see over anything, right? They built, they left our communities, and then they sold the houses to us for like huge markups.
Right.
So I want to be the guy that shows people how easy it is, how simple that you guys can build too. That's an industry that they left us out of for years.
Right.
They cover those construction sites up, and they do it. And everybody, wherever we grew up, we've seen developing happening right in front of our eyes, but they close the door on us. They do it in our backyard. They close the door so we can't see. And then when it's time for a sale, that's when they take it off and leave. By that time, they're gone. So you can't say, hey, can you show me how you built that? Can you tell me how you got into developing and things like that? The answer is no. They're gone. They don't talk to us when they were building and developing our communities. When they're pushing us out, they didn't even speak to us. They didn't even ask, hey, would you like to learn how to build in your own community as well?
Right.
Here's what they asked. When they finished doing the build for $200,000, they put the for sale sign up for $600,000, and they closed through a title company, and you can't even meet them and ask them, hey, how did you do it? Can you show me? We're just on the far end of it where we're buying from Trulia and Zillow, but the developer, and then we're super happy when we get our house.
Right.
Right? That's the happiest day in the world. It's our biggest purchase ever. But the reality of it is, it don't have to be our biggest purchase.
Right.
Right? We learn how to build. So I'll show you guys how to build. I'm going to put the address in there as well. You guys are welcome to come see a person that looks and sounds like you, build a house from the ground up. And I'll teach you guys everything you need from like grading the property all the way to finishing it. You guys are welcome to come in. I believe water is on at this point. But let me give you the address.
So I think it looks like you probably birthed 19 new developers. You know, I feel that everyone on here has been truly inspired by your story, the information you have shared with us. So we honor you. We appreciate you for your time and just being fully transparent and open about your journey and leaving a trail for us to follow, you know. So thank you, Charles Noonan, for that. And I challenge everyone on this call, again, act on the information that has been given to you. If you don't have the money right now, it's okay. Now you have something to work towards, right? If you don't have the courage, you need to be a student. We need to get in a classroom and be around others who are actively, you know, pursuing what you're trying to do, because what that's going to do is you have a spark already inside of you. It's just going to keep that thing burning. All right. And you'll find yourself making the investments that you thought you'd never be able to do. You just got to get in that environment. You got to be a part of the community. You have to stay in touch with that and be reminded that you can too. And you're not going to learn that when you're 9 to 5, because no one's pouring into in your 9 to 5. You're not going to learn that at a club, you know. You're not going to learn that in an environment that does not feed what you're passionate about. So tap into Charles Noonan and what he's doing. Follow him on Instagram if you're not ready yet, but stay in within reach, right? This is someone that you definitely want to lock in with. Let me see. Thank you, Charles. This has been amazing and priceless information. Absolutely. Price. You can't put a price tag on this.
I posted the address. Like, people charge a ton of money to teach this stuff.
Yeah.
I'll show you guys exactly how I did it, and just come. Like I have the address.
October 10th at 12 o'clock. You guys see that?
12 o'clock. like pull up on me. Bring some hard shoes. Everything should be clean. Everything should be clean. It's like ready to go, right? It should be close to completed, if not 100% completed, but it's still raw enough where I could teach you guys everything you need to know. And my goal is to really show you how easy it is. We don't learn right from like this textbook style as best as we do in person, hands on, with
Right.
people that look and sound like us. We
Mhm.
learn from each other. We learn by seeing, touching, hearing, smelling, looking. That's why I want to invite you guys October 10th, Birmingham, Alabama. I am going to be on my property. It's my third time going. I ain't even been. I'm seeing it for the first time too. I'm getting at 11, so I'm gonna check everything out, and I'm gonna be, fanned out, and then I'll come back down to earth, and I'll be like, yeah, come on in, let me show you. But the reality of it is, an hour ago, I was in there fanned out myself.
Right.
So you guys have access to that on Queen's behalf and on the behalf of you showing up and being here. And then on Queen's behalf to pull up at the auction and do it for yourself. So you can go see me do it, and then you can go do it for yourself in November.
Thank you so much, Charles. You are like, and he's so humble. He really doesn't realize what he's doing, right? Like someone said you need to go on social media. He said, Queen, I don't even know what to wear. Every time I wear clothes, it just says the Landbank. I'm not trying to flex. I'm not trying to be a star. I'm like, you have no idea.
It's about that. It's about impact. It's about you guys make me happy when I see you build. The reality, I can't build every piece of property.
Right.
I don't want to build in neighborhoods where people don't look like me that are building. I want to build in places where I really want to impact Birmingham and the entire city. Like that's my mission. I don't want to get into my conference right now, but that's my mission.
No, hold off.
No, I'm not getting into it. My mission personally now, I'm at the point where I want to impact an entire city.
Well, they're asking, can you go live on the 10th? Will you go live on the 10th, at least for your students or those that are following you, for those that can attend?
For those that are there, I'm going to teach. If somebody wants to hold my phone while I teach, yes. But I'll be posting it in my stories, and I'll be posting. If you look on my Instagram, you'll see the progression of it.
How can they follow you on Instagram? Can we put that in the chat? And also, does your program, this will be the last question. I want to let you guys get some rest for tomorrow because we got the meet and greet mixer. So does your program also include how to find contractors?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Of course.
So you'll be able to know how to vet for, the right contractor for the job.
That's a big class.
Right.
That's a big class. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys got to sign up. I mean, when is graduation and when is registration open up?
So she just sent me a message. We have 4 spaces available. 4
spaces available. Tap in right away. Call that number. See how you can become a student. I want to hear testimonials. Okay. I want people to say, Queen, last year I attended your Q4 Mastermind. And let me tell you, the best connect, if not one of the best connects, was Charles Noonan, because guess what? I'm developing a property in some state. That's what I want to hear. That's what I'm looking forward to heaaring.
That's right.
Okay.
And I got plans too. So y'all don't even have to really pay an architect. Y'all can
wow.
We have.
Love it. Well, again, thank you all for joining us this evening, Charles Noonan. It's always a pleasure.
And Queen,
yes,
you invite to come on the in-person day.
Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you all. Charles may be pulling up Saturday, right? We'll get the chance to meet you in person.
In New York, it's in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
I'm gonna come support. Just send me
the wow. Okay, so Charles will be there Saturday. So make sure you make your entry. Super tall too. Don't be intimidated. Ladies, wear heels.
No, I'm pulling up to support and serve you guys in any way that I can, just because I love what you're doing and I'm happy to be a part of it. So yeah, I should be able to be there. I don't have anything on my schedule where I can't take out like 3-4 hours to come and support you.
Awesome. So Charles Noonan will be there. Make sure you're there. Make sure you make these connections, build these relationships. And again, everyone, I hope to see you tomorrow evening at the Mixer. It will be at City Tavern in Elizabeth from 6 to 9 p.m. And then, of course, Q for Mastermind, the main event, which will be 10 a.m. Doors open at 10 a.m. We'll serve breakfast and mimosas from 10 to 11, valet parking. And we will end the session at 3 p.m. So make sure you're in the room. Again, Charles Noonan, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you in person on Saturday.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'll be there.
All right, everyone.
All right.
Have a good night.
Hello.
Hi, thank you.
You're
Good
welcome.
night. Thank you.
Good night.
Uh-oh. Send us the addresses.
Yes, I will send it in an email. I just put the link there, Q for Mastermind, to purchase a ticket, but I'm going to send the address to all the locations. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night, love.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
You're welcome. Good night. See you soon.